Hi, I'm Ed. Oh, and that's 18-year-old me at the helm on my Clipper Race circumnavigation. Let's skip 10 years and this is now me, 28 years old, trading highways for sea days. Step on board and welcome to Sailing Optimist. Home sweet home. Life, it's such a funny journey and mine has taken such a turn so quickly and I'm so grateful for it. It's just been one of those months, moving out of my house, selling everything that I own, trying to create a YouTube channel and balancing a full-time self-employed job, and it's really taken it out of me. As you can hear in my voice, I'm probably running on about 80%, and recently my social battery has been discharged to about -10, so I'm going away for a night just to recharge. And it's so easy to miss the moment sometimes, especially in my job. I'm always forward thinking, and that's the same for a lot of people. But this episode is all about embracing, enjoying and absorbing the moment. And don't worry, it's not going to be one of those episodes all deep and meaningful, but just take a minute, sit back, pour yourself a cup of tea, and welcome to Sailing Optimist.
Yeah, you could say we're doing just fine. I found some wings, let's give them a try. Nobody leaves the ground if the hopes ain't high. Might as well enjoy the flight. Everybody wants a perfect world. Everybody wants to feel no pain. Everybody seems so uptight. We might as well enjoy our life. Might as well enjoy our life.
Just arrived on a buoy. Gosh, the wind picked up unexpectedly. It was only meant to be about 10 knots and now it's gusting 25. Wind against tide, so I did try and anchor, but it just wasn't catching. So I've come around to a buoy. Probably will either move tonight or I will re-anchor in the morning. So the marine engineer had to come out, Steve, big up Steve, great man, because I was taking on a lot of water under motor, and we've basically found out that the, excuse my terminology, the shaft gland in the engine bay, where it basically comes through the boat and out towards the engine, on the gland there, the seal is leaking when we're underway. And so I have the joyous job. By the way, it's safe to use. It's safe to use under motor. He said it's just going to drip, 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 but it does accumulate over time. And I motored a little bit further than I thought I would today. So I've got to empty that. I have the joy of emptying the bilges. So in my cabin here, we've got the engine bay, and then under here I've got bilges that I need to empty because I can see there's water in there. So basically, I've got to try and get this floorboard up. All right, there is a one. So I pump it into my shower tray because I don't have an electric bilge, and I switch the shower tray on. Obviously there's a filter there to stop any bits and pieces going in, but I found with the amount of water that we've taken on board, that is the quickest route. So that is every bilge and the 2 bilges in the engine room, all empty. It's a fair amount of water. So this bad boy here, I don't know if you can see a black seal here, this is what's leaking and it's seeping water in. as the engine spins. Even if we're under sail, it's spinning. So water's just seeping in, and it goes from that chamber to that chamber to that chamber to this. It's like the overflow, but it's in my cabin, so I don't like to have too much water in here. But that should be fixed imminently. One of the panels, the floor panels, got a bit wet from the bilge, so I'm just gonna let that dry in the sun because we don't want it to go mouldy. Boating is never simple, and jobs like that just are just things that you endure on a day-to-day basis. I mean, getting the what's it called? There's a term for it. Even the guy said getting the something seal. It sounded like something that you'd have on a cat or a dog, like when you go to the vets. Getting that seal replaced will remove this water intake into the bilges, so that'd be a thing I'd have to endure every time I go out. But definitely, as I motor back tomorrow, I'll have to redo everything I just did. So once I've done the shower tray, I bleach it and put some fresh water through it just to stop the smell. But currently now I'm just gonna leave everything to air out just for a couple of hours. I'm not using my cabin for a minute. I went to our favourite shop today. Good old B&M. I thought it was Home Bargains, but it's B&M. Got some picture frames that I want to put on this bulkhead here, and some solar powered fairy lights. And I always thought, oh, fairy lights are so tacky, but I just feel like you might just lift it in the evening. I don't want the spotlights on all the time. Firstly, they draw a lot on my power, even though they're LED. But to have some like solar powered fairy lights, I thought it might be a bit cute. I feel like this is quite nice with the mirror. But that is enough procrastination. Time to get to work. Lovely. Thanks so much. Have a nice weekend.
Not a problem, mate.
I find it crazy how a lot of people my age, like their idea of a perfect Friday night is going out, getting drunk, being sick, eating kebabs. And I feel so blessed that I get to watch a sunset, drink a nice cold beer, have some cheese and crackers, probably have an early night and sit under the stars for a minute. Yeah, I feel extremely blessed, and I'm so glad that I chose this path and made this big leap of faith. It's been playing on my mind a lot recently. I feel like I've been a bit burnt out. I don't use the term burnt out loosely. I had a restaurant for 8 years and multiple businesses after a long time, and with a lot of responsibilities and stress, and I got burnt out at one point. And now with like, moving out my house and moving on board and keeping up with work demands, being self-employed as like a videographer, it's a lot all the time, but I take the small moments. I just appreciate this so much. So I know it'll be pitch black in the camera, but the moon is out, and it's so peaceful, it's so still out here. Like not a breath of wind, complete contrast from today. When I first moored up here, it's like 25-30 knots. It was just coming through, funneling through, but now it's really calmed down, and yeah, it's like a mill pond, and the moon's shining, the birds are chirping, and what a peaceful night. So it's night time for bed, and I can't get away without looking after my skin. So I do have a face mask. These are my favourite. They're like cooling and everything. Great after a summer's day at the beach. Yeah, do you know what? Why not? I think I must put the camera down for this. As soon as it's on, it's like a cooling. My hairy beard. Alright. Wait, 2 seconds. There you go, that's better. I remember when these used to be £1, and now they're like nearly £3. But honestly, the best £3 you'll ever spend in your life. They hydrate your skin, and yeah, just cool it down a little bit after being windburnt all day, honestly.
An extra line, and our duck lines, and cleaning supplies for the boat.
It's so cold, the metal on the wheel here is so, it hurts to touch. I think it was like minus figures last night. There's ice all over the deck where it's not got the decking. It's slippery. Look. And this is why winter mornings in the UK are just something else. Absolutely beautiful. Just anchored. It's like wind against tide, and at the moment the forces are very equal, so kind of like just sat here swaying, like sometimes the tide takes over then the wind does, so yeah, it's fine, but it's just that we're not headwind, so the wind's blowing down inside and it's bitter. That knot, although it's not really a knot, that I just tied on my anchor chain, that derives from my captain or skipper Rich Gold, who was my skipper on my round the world sail, and he taught us this really great I don't want to call it a knot because there's no real like knottage involved, it's just how to wrap a line, and it's basically to allow sheets that are under load to be released onto this concoction of twists that is then attached to a cleat, so it transfers from the sheet onto this, like, we're going to call it a knot, and it would take spinnakers that are pulling a 42-ton racing yacht around the world. So it's fine for an anchor chain, and it works great because as soon as you put tension back onto the sheet or back onto the windlass, the knot can be undone, and it's super simple. I probably wouldn't have it on the top of the deck, just because that's really annoying at night, but as I'm only here for a couple of hours, I don't mind it. Normally I'd have the knot just down almost like a snuffer. But yeah, time to make some tea. And look at this weather coming. It is dark. There's no, by no stretch, my best poached eggs. They all got stuck to the bottom of the pan, but I'm sure it'll be delicious. So my dad lent me his power bank, which is this, because I've been meaning to get one. I was looking at inverters, but for what I use the boat for at the moment, when I go away, I'd have to like triple my battery capacity. Although I've already got a good amount of leisure batteries to do what I want it to do with an inverter, like running, say for example, a air fryer or something like that. I just don't have the capacity. But this little bad boy, I can run projectors. I can charge my MacBook. It can run my iMac for a short period. It does actually work, surprisingly. But yeah, when I'm at sea and I want to go over working, this bad boy, you literally just turn it on. This has been charging my phone and it's run a whole charge of my laptop already, and it's only on 60%. It's only just dropped down. But that'll charge my laptop. You've got two standard like household plugs, and then you've got like USBs and all sorts. It's fantastic. Literally, it's great. So I'm gonna watch a movie.
Oh, did she? I'm surprised.
There is some big swell coming through. We've got a spit over here where I'm anchored, and we're taking the wave side on at the moment. So it's a little bit rolly at the anchorage, but that should only be until we get to high tide, which is like in half an hour's time. But as you can see, we are rolling around. We're taking the wave side on. It just happens around here as we're approaching high tide, and it is springs. But as you can see over here, it's all changed. Every year it changes, this spit, as more sand gets washed away, but that has changed so much over the years. As this week's episode draws to a close, I just want to say thank you for those who have subscribed to me so far. I know it's not crazy and exciting sailing through the Med, but thank you for those who want to follow this journey of just a young guy living out his dream. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. If you want to see daily updates on board Sailing Optimist, head to our Instagram channel, Sailing Optimist 95, and you can see our crazy updates here on Sailing Optimist. But until next week, keep those dreams alive, because those are the things that drive us in life.